Okay, let's look at an example for completing the square of a quadratic function. All right, so here's the quadratic function. Y equals 2x squared minus 6x plus 3. Right? So first step would be, right, so I'm going to factor out 2, which is the leading coefficient from the first two terms. Right? So we put 2 in front. Right? Then you have a left parenthesis, right? So if you factor 2 from 2x squared, you get x squared, like that, right? And a factor 2 from negative 6x, so you're basically dividing negative 6x by 2, so it's going to be negative 3x, right? Then give a little bit of room here and a close parenthesis, right? Then you still have the third term, which is plus 3. So we just put the plus 3 right at the end, right? Then try to focus on these two guys, all right? So remember that in order to complete the square, you have these three terms. X squared plus 2ax plus a squared is equal to, all right? So x plus 1/2 of the coefficient of x and the quantity squared, all right? So this is what we need to have. Right, so look at this. Let's compare. So we have x squared. We have x squared. So we have that. Right, so you have a negative 3x. So this is 2ax. All right, so we know that 2a in this case, right, 2a corresponds to negative 3. Right, so this is equal to negative 3. Right, so a in this case, just subtract, that divides through by 2. So a, we're talking about negative 3/2. Right, so we divide by 2. Then since the third term we need is a squared, so we have to square negative 3/2. So negative 3 squared would be 9. So the third term we need is 9 over, right? And 2 squared is 4. So you have 4. Right? Actually, I'm gonna write it in a different color. So it's a 9. We need the 9/4. So put 9/4 right there, because that's the third term we need. But we need to subtract 9/4 right away, right? So that we don't change the function. All right. Then what we do is we're going to group these first three terms together and get the leftover term outside of the parentheses. Right? So you have 2 here, right? And you have x squared and a minus 3x plus 9 over 4. Right? So that'll take care of these three terms, right? There's one leftover term, so in order to get it out of the parentheses, we have to distribute 2 to negative 9/4. So 2 times negative 9/4 would be negative, right? 9 over 2 and the 4 cancel out, so it's going to be 2. So 9/2. Right, then you still have a plus 3 at the end, so we put plus 3 there. All right, then we can complete the square. So you have this is equal to, right, 2 is still there, right? These three terms becomes quantity x, right? So a is negative 3/2, which is the same thing as 1/2 of that number. So it's going to be negative 3/2. Right, raise it to the second power, right, squared. So these three terms becomes that, right? Then we can just combine negative 9 halves, and 3. 3 is 6 halves, so it's going to be negative, right? Negative 9 halves plus 6 halves, so it's going to be negative 3 halves, right? So the vertex form of this quadratic function is this guy right here. All right, so this is in vertex form. And the vertex is the point, right? So it's negative 3 halves, so you have to negate that, so it's going to be positive 3 halves, comma, right, negative 3 halves, negative 3 halves, right? That's the vertex of this quadratic function. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.